Imagine someone telling you that the world is round because the soles of his feet are arched. You might say that's a bad argument and reject it. You might also say that's a bad argument and reject the position that it was arguing for. So you could say your argument is bad, therefore the world is not round. Saying that, you would commit the fallacy fallacy, which is the assumption that just because an argument is fallacious, the conclusion must also be false. And I always found this fallacy to be a pretty neat example for explaining how rational reasoning works. Using arguments and evidence, we want to support the beliefs that we take to be the potential truth. Our specific arguments and evidence can get refuted as being inadequate or confirmed as being adequate and reasonable, but never the belief itself. Strictly speaking, we know nothing for certain. There's no way for us to definitively confirm or refute an idea. We have no direct access to truth. The only tools that we have for working out the truth are arguments and evidence. They can be good or bad, and if they're good, we usually take it to be pretty reasonable to assume that the conclusion of the argument is true, and if the arguments are bad, we say that regarding the conclusion as being true is not really a reasonable thing to do, at least if your only reason for regarding the conclusion as being true are bad arguments. Now, imagine a scientist claiming that the world is round and then a person who accepts the arched soles argument. Two people can have the same belief and one of them will be in a position where it will be pretty reasonable to hold the belief, but not the other. Here we could allude to Plato's image of a blind man who happens to walk on the right path. But we too never see the path. We have no real access to truth itself, so all we can work with is how we justify our beliefs. The point of rational thinking is to get rid of irrationalities such as fallacies, bias and inconsistencies, so we would acquire a web of beliefs, which doesn't necessarily correspond to the world as it is. Your beliefs are not necessarily true. You can't know that and you have no access to this information, but at least you're rationally justified in thinking that your beliefs are true. At least as long as evidence and arguments would suggest that. So, using philosophical reasoning, what we really talk about is whether our beliefs are rationally justified or not, and whether it is reasonable to take them for true. But what we don't really talk about is whether they are really true, for we can neither validate nor refute that. And yeah, this is the fallacy fallacy explained. If you have any thoughts you want to share, I would love to have a discussion in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching.